coming. I'ma continue to come.
Hey, where are the white women at?
So, it's official. At CinemaCon, it was confirmed that the sequel to The Batman is happening, with Robert Pattinson returning as Batman, of course, and Matt Reeves again directing, which really isn't a surprise. The reception was very positive, and was very successful at the box office. And plus, it was already announced over a year ago now, that Warner Bros. Has planned a spin-off series taking place in that universe. At first, it was called like Gotham PD, but now apparently that's not happening anymore, and instead we're getting a Penguin spin-off series, as well as a series focused on Arkham Asylum, both of which taking place in the Batman universe. So I mean, with spin-offs already planned before the movie even came out, it was pretty obvious they were going to greenlight a sequel, although to be fair, it is Warner Brothers, so you know how they are. So with it now confirmed, it got people wondering where they're going to go with the sequel, what kind of villains they're going to introduce and whatnot. So I made a post asking you guys, what would you want to see in future installments? Either the second movie or even the third. And so I'm going to condense the common ones that I saw and the more interesting ones as well, and tell you guys what I would personally like to see, and what will work in the universe that Matt Reeves established in the movie, which is a more grounded world, but it's definitely not as realistic as the Nolan trilogy, which gives us some more wiggle room to work with. But first, I'm going to mention what I don't want to see, and that's the Joker. And I'm actually not alone on this, I saw this pop up a lot. So like I said when the deleted scene was released, I'm personally kind of burnt out on the Joker because of how heavily he's used in Batman and DC media in general, especially over the last decade, from the multiple live action versions to his appearances in the animated films and comics. Now I'm not against the Joker existing in this world. I thought the little cameo in the movie was fine, and the deleted scene was okay, but I definitely want to see other villains take priority. What they could do is just regulate Joker to like someone in the background, and then either in the third movie or hell, one of the HBO Max spin-off shows, have him take a more predominant role there. And I love the Joker as a character, but I'm just burnt out, and would definitely like to see other villains get the spotlight for a while. Now let's move on to the things that would be cool to see in the sequel or future installments. So for the big villains, like the main antagonist for like the main plot, I would like to see Black Mask, because at the end of the Batman they mentioned how there's going to be a power grab now that Falcone is dead. So seeing the Penguin grow with power and then Black Mask start to rise up would be interesting. However, another major villain I would like to see, and this one popped up a lot, was Mr. Freeze, with the idea of it being set during winter. Since the Batman starts during Halloween and ends less than a week later, it would be cool to see the next one take place during Christmas, just a month or so after the events of the first movie. Also, it'll just make for a pretty interesting setting, like how Batman Returns took place during Christmas. That was really cool. And plus, Mr. Freeze's cool badass suit along with his ice gun isn't completely out of the realm of possibility. I mean, hell, in this universe, the Batman's complete suit is bulletproof and can take shots at point blank range. And not to mention those contacts that he has that records everything. So a super advanced suit like Mr. Freeze's isn't too far-fetched. And the last one I saw pop up a lot as like a main antagonist was Hush. And Matt Reeves has mentioned how much he likes Hush, so that one's very possible. And plus, it'd be really cool to see a character like Hush have this personal connection to Bruce Wayne. But even if he's not the main antagonist, it still would be cool to have him in as like a subplot, one that spans the majority of the movie at least. And that was the majority that I saw for like the main antagonist spot, plus about two others that we'll go over in a minute. But I also saw several smaller villains that people thought would be cool to see as well. And I agree that these ones would be cool to see, but odds are they won't play a major role in the movie itself, and will either be like a cameo, or it could serve as like an introduction scene to the movie, or they're being used by the main antagonist. Zsasz was one that I saw pop up a lot. Many people saying that they would like to just see him, you know, have an encounter or interaction with Batman. I mean, that would be a kind of pretty cool start to the movie. Have Batman catch him before he murders someone, and take him to Arkham or Blackgate. And there's a few others I saw people throw around, like Professor Pig, Calendar Man, or even the Mad Hatter. Though like I said, I don't think they would be the main focus, but having a scene or two of Batman either capturing them or investigating them would be really interesting. Hell, if you have him catch just one of them, then when he gets back to the Batcave, you can see like the semantics and notes of an ongoing investigation involving one of those other villains. Be like a cool Easter egg, you know? But with the announcement of the Arkham show, I'm pretty sure that's where we'll see more of these characters appear than the actual movie. And finally, these last couple, I think shouldn't be fully explored in just one movie, but should be hinted at for a future entry. The first one is Hugo Strange. You could have him just appear in the sequel at Arkham in charge of the ones looking at all the inmates, and then because of the events that happen in that movie, he grows more interested in Batman before becoming a bigger threat in the third one. I think that'd be pretty cool to see. And plus, he'll more likely appear in the Arkham spin-off show as well, which will give them more time to develop and build him up. And the second one is the Chord of Owls. This is definitely a really interesting concept, and I don't think it'll be that easy to really show the Chord of Owls and their inner workings in just one movie. They're a super secret, influential group filled with Gotham's most elite and wealthiest figures that go all the way back to the founding of Gotham. So you know, they're influential and control just about everything. What they could do is have small hints at them, maybe a few mentions, a few clues here and there, something that gets Batman's attention and starts looking into it. And then in a future sequel or so, they'll finally dig deep enough and uncover the truth. A big super secret group like this, it's best not to rush the story with them. So you know, set them up, hint at them, let the viewer know that they exist, and then bring more attention to them later on. Now before I end this section, I will mention a few more that I saw a lot of. Scarecrow kept popping up, Bane as well, which I think would be very cool, like an Arkham Origins type of Bane, as well as Deathstroke. Although when it comes to Deathstroke and Bane, I think they should show up later on, after Batman is a much more experienced fighter, which is something that I personally wish they will improve upon in the next one. The hand-to-hand fight scenes. They were pretty cool, but Pattinson is still a little stiff in his movements, so hopefully they can work towards making him a more fluid fighter, and hell, implement some more stealth as well. I would just prefer to see a more experienced Batman take on someone like Deathstroke or Bane. Oh, and another villain I saw pop up that would make sense would be Killer Croc, because hell, the whole city's flooded. Could be the perfect time to bring him in. Now in this last section are some of the heroes I saw pop up that people would like to see. None. I didn't see people mention any at all. Most still want to keep it just focused on Batman, and they don't want to introduce Robin or Batgirl this early. Maybe an older, more experienced Batman later on, but as of right now they just want Batman by himself. And I actually agree. I just want to see Batman, Alfred, and Gordon do stuff before they bring in the other members of the Bat family. And of course I wouldn't mind seeing Catwoman pop in here and there, but something I would like to see them do more with Catwoman is have her toe the line between hero and villain. They kind of did that in the movie, but I would like to see more of it. But anyway, that's the majority of what I saw people comment of what they want to see in future Batman installments. So now I want you to go ahead and do the same thing in the comment section down below. Tell me which villains or heroes you want to see in the next sequel or in the spin-off shows, and who you think will be the main antagonist for the next movie. Leave a comment and let me know. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, go and drop a like on it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.
Riddle me this, Batman. Why do they call it oven when you ove in the cold food, of out hot eat the food?